Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our program here where we'll be talking about the LLM and MSL application workshop. Thanks for those who are joining us live and for those who are listening to the recording later. My name is Tess Jacobson. I am the Assistant Director for the Environmental Law program and will be your main point of contact throughout your time in the program. We have our contact info here, so please feel free to reach out to us if you ever have any questions during the process or if you have any questions after this webinar as well. I wanted to take a moment and introduce our team. So these are, aside from the amazing career services and faculty that you'll also be working with, these will be your main point of contacts throughout your time in the program. Janice Weiss is our Associate Dean and Director of the Environmental Law program. She unfortunately couldn't make it on the call today, but she is always a resource that is available for you, and myself as well. And then we are joined today by Delia Weidman, who is our program coordinator and will be a main point of contact for you, and will also be dropping some links in the chat throughout our discussions today. I want to note that we host several of these webinars throughout the year for our online programs, and we tend to focus on a different topic for each of them. You can check out some of our past webinars on our website, and we've talked about everything from the online learning experience, careers with the LLM and MSL programs, the return on investment for this degree, and you're welcome to listen to any or all of those as well as you explore and make sure that the online program is going to be a good fit for you. You're also welcome to drop any questions throughout this webinar in the chat or in the Q&A function, and we will make sure to either answer those along the way or we'll get to them at the end as well. Tonight, we're going to focus on what our admissions process looks like, but before we get into that, I wanted to talk a little bit about the program structure and kind of what the MSL and LLM degree are. So our online LLM, which is the Master's of Law degree, and the MSL, which is the Master's in the Study of Environmental Law, are really great options because they are flexible, asynchronous learning styles that is entirely done online. It's great for people who are busy professionals, distance learners, and for anyone who maybe has family obligations. You get to do the work on your time. And so while there's deadlines within each class, you can do the work at any point within those deadlines. Usually it's maybe one module due a week. So we have students who do it during the day while their kids are at school, students who do it on the weekends, or students who do it after work in the evenings. It's a self-paced program, and it really is designed to be an interactive online format. So there's discussion posts where you get to interact with the students and faculty. All of the courses are taught by the same faculty who teach our in-person classes. So you're really getting that, their expertise, their knowledge, they are experts in their field. And they also teach in the online program. They host Zoom sessions throughout the time in the class. They'll host review sessions. They're always reachable via email or telephone as well. So they're a really great resource, and it's really nice to have that connection with our faculty even in the online program. It also has a pay-as-you-go flexibility, which means you pay per credit. So some students take one class at a time, and they maybe take 3 or 4 years to complete the program, and that's fine. You're just paying per credit, so that is just a pay per credit rate. And then some students, move a little bit quicker through the program and complete it in as few as 3 or 4 semesters. We also have hybrid options available, so you're always welcome to join us on campus in person for a semester. Different tuition rate that applies, but that is always an option for our online students as well. Some of the coursework requirements for our program is US LLM and MSL students are required to complete 26 credit hours. So again, that pay per credit rate, our current rate is for this year is $1,631 per credit. But that can, again, you're just paying for that per credit rate. Some of our classes are 1, 2, or 3 credits is what most of our classes are. And you can take as many or a few as you want each semester. International LLM students complete 28 credits because they also take an intro to US environmental law studies with our MSL students as well. Our two required courses for both the LLM and MSL is administrative law and environmental law. These are very core courses in the program, so that's the reason why they are required to complete the program. I mentioned that the intro class is a 2-credit intro to U.S. environmental law course that I teach in the program. And that is a really great course for our international students and our MSL students who maybe don't have a lot of experience or haven't had a law school class or a law class in undergrad. And it really teaches you how to approach law school, how to study for law school, and then some of the concepts that you might come across in some of your other classes as well. So it's really just designed to kind of help you throughout your start in the program and set you up for success throughout the program as well, because you are in these upper division JD classes, and you're usually with LLM students and sometimes JD students as well. We'll occasionally have some JD students in our online program. And it's great to get that diversity in the classes, to see those different perspectives. But we want to make sure that you're successful, which is why we require that intro class. LLM students are also required to take 2 credits of emerging topics, which is a 1-credit course offered in the spring and fall semester. Online students will always have a choice of at least 2 classes and emerging topics in each semester. So as you can see from some of these classes that we have, you'll actually usually have more options than just that. And we're always adding new courses as our students express interest in certain areas or we see a need for knowledge in certain areas. We're always adding new courses to the program to help expand it and make it as comprehensive as possible. In addition, students can also join us for an externship, either where you're located. We can help set one up with our Career Services office or our alumni office, or you can do an independent research project as well for 1 or 2 credits. And those projects are really a chance for our students to deep dive into a topic that maybe we don't offer a course on, or maybe you want to learn more about a particular topic or something that you deal with in your work or plan to. Those independent research projects are really great, and most of our students take advantage of that at some point during their time in the program as well. That's always overseen by a faculty member, so it gives you a really good chance to kind of work one-on-one with one of our faculty members as well. Some of the other courses that we offer is water law, ocean and coastal law, wildlife law, hazardous waste, and then also international environmental law, and a legal research class, which is really designed to introduce you to environmental legal research. It's a really great class taught by one of our head librarians. So a little bit about the application, kind of why you all are here. Our application, what we look for in future MSL students, so these are our Masters in the Study of Environmental Law students, is you do need to be a graduate of an accredited U.S. or international college or university. This is a bachelor's degree. You do not need a bachelor's degree in a certain area, in a certain field. It is totally, we've had students from a broad spectrum. You don't need a legal background. You don't need to have any kind of law background. We have students who are using this as a way to transition perhaps into the legal field. And we also have students who use this as a way to help boost a promotion within the organization that they currently work for. We really look for students who can demonstrate an excellent academic record and strong analytical and writing skills. So the question that we're asking ourselves when we're reviewing your application is, will this person be successful in a rigorous environmental law program? So that's why we really look for that strong academic and writing skills as well. And I'll go into a little bit more detail about exactly what is required in the application in a little bit. And then probably the biggest factor is having a genuine interest in environmental natural resources or energy law. Again, this is an environmental program. You're going to be taking entirely environmental law classes. So we really are looking to have that genuine interest in environmental law for our future prospects and future students. And what we look for in LLM students. So for the LLM, the Masters of Law program, you do need to be a graduate of an accredited either U.S. law, so you need to have a JD, a Juris Doctorate, or a LLB, or if it's equivalent from a international law school. Again, this can be in any area of law. You don't need to be licensed or barred either. Just having or will have by the time you start the program a JD or a LLB is required. Same with the MSL students. For our LLMs, we are also looking to have excellent academic record, strong legal research and writing skills as well, and that genuine interest in environmental law. Again, a lot of our students use this LLM program. Perhaps they're already practicing law, but they're maybe dealing with environmental laws and they didn't have the opportunity to take those classes during their time in law school, or it wasn't offered at that time. So they use this as a way to gain the knowledge for their current clients that they're already working with. And some students use this as a complete transition. So we've had several students who have been working in one area of law and realize they want to switch to environmental law. So they've used the LLM as a way to gain the knowledge and the skills in order to make that career transition into an environmental law field. Graduates in both programs have gone on to work for nonprofits, government agencies, higher education. Really, the world is your oyster for this one. There's just so many opportunities. We have a vast alumni network that you can tap into for this program, for career opportunities as well. So you work closely, or we work closely with our alumni office and our career services office to help give you as many opportunities as possible for what you perhaps would like to do with this degree. So some of our application requirements. So we have an online application form for either the MSL or the LLM program. And we also need a statement of interest. This can usually around 1 page, about 500 words. This is where you talk about your genuine interest in environmental, natural resources, or energy law. This is your opportunity to explain why you want to join the program, how you think this program could help you in your future career, or what you plan to use this degree for. We also require a resume. Basic work resume, something that you would send to an employer, or something outlining your work experience, your educational experience, any volunteer experience that you have. It's always really great to see those experiences on your resume. We also require your JD or LLB transcripts if you're applying for the LLM program, or your bachelor's degree transcripts if you're applying for the MSL program. Unofficial transcripts are fine for the application process. We don't require those official transcripts until you matriculate as a student. So whichever semester you start in the program will require those official transcripts, but just for the application process, it's totally fine to send unofficial transcripts to us. We're also looking for 2 to 3 letters of recommendation, and we really want these letters to demonstrate and show your capacity to be successful in a graduate level program. So this can be from supervisors who can maybe speak to your writing or analytical skills. It can be from professors if you're a recent graduate or still connected with your professors, that can demonstrate your success in a classroom. We know your friends and family would write awesome letters, so we always ask that these are more professionally focused. Volunteer supervisors, we've had students who aren't currently in the workforce, so anything volunteer experience, prior supervisors, those are all really great letters of recommendation as well. For your MSL applicants, we do require a writing sample that's 5 to 7 pages. This does not have to be environmental in nature. Something you wrote for undergrad, something maybe you wrote for work, or just something you create on your own for this application is totally fine. This is where we really evaluate your writing skills and make sure that, again, that you would be successful in the program, because law school, there's a lot of writing in these courses, a lot of papers that tend to be done as well. So we want to make sure that you would be successful there through this writing sample too. For international students in either the LLM or the MSL program, we do require a TOEFL of at least 100 or an IELTS score of at least 8, or other evidence of English fluency. So this could be your undergrad was maybe taught in English or your law degree was taught in English. So even if you are a non-native speaker, but you had graduate level English coursework, that could be a way that you prove English fluency. Also, you can have a meeting with me and we'll discuss it and work through it. That's another option as well. So again, if you don't have a TOEFL or an IELTS score, you're an international student, but you have other proofs of that, just feel free to reach out and we can help verify that information as well. So what are the next steps? So if you're interested, thinking about applying, this is a great time because our application deadline for spring semester is November 15th, coming up in a couple weeks. Our spring classes begin January 8th. This spring semester, we're offering ocean and coastal law, emerging topics, water law, and hazardous waste law. So that just kind of gives you a sampling of what classes you could be in just a few short months. We also have classes year-round, so some students take classes in both the summer as well, which is when we offer usually 2 to 3 classes during the summer as well. However, if you're still thinking about it, still making sure that this is the right program for you, we do have starts in summer, fall, or spring. So our application deadline for a summer start is April 1st, and for a fall start, it would be July 15th. Obviously, the earlier you can apply, that's always the better, especially for financial aid purposes. If you're planning to apply for federal financial aid or need to secure funding for the program, getting admitted as early as possible is usually always best, just to make sure that you have that extra time to secure funding or to apply for federal financial aid as well. We do have tuition awards available, so if you are someone who is wondering or needing financial assistance through the program, reach out to us or Elizabeth Misa, who you maybe have been in contact with, and we would happily send you our request for tuition award, which is a percentage off the tuition, that per credit cost, and that's based on both merit and need. So that's always available to students as well. Just reach out and we're happy to provide that information to you. And I think that is all that I had for you today, and I'm happy to take any questions, or I have some FAQs that normally come up, but I'm also happy to answer any of your questions at all. Excuse me. I did see that a question came in the Q&A. And there's asked if there's courses in EU and international environmental law. So there are courses that are taught. So one of the courses is international environmental law. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And that course is taught by Professor Chris Wold, who is an expert in that field. He often attends CITES meetings, he's been speakers, so he's a great resource. And so that course covers international environmental law conventions, things like the CITES, the UNFCCC, just kind of the broad spectrum of international environmental law. It's a great intro course. And then a lot of our courses, I would say the majority of them touch on international law to a certain extent. Majority of our courses are focused on US law though. So that's one caution that I always like to say is that this isn't an international law program. But we do, to the extent where international environmental laws are relevant to the areas like in our wildlife law course, Professor Dan Rolfe has a module or 2 on international wildlife law. So it's something that gets touched on, but the main focus of most of our courses are going to be US environmental laws. But great question. Thank you for asking that. And was there any questions, Celia, that came in the chat? I didn't see any.
Haven't seen any.
Okay.
Oh, there's yeah.
Oh, another one. Okay, can MSL graduates be of assistance to lawyers? Definitely. So that's really what our MSL degree is kind of geared towards. It's geared towards those students who want a better understanding of the law, the environmental law, and who are And that can be through the job, so through working with lawyers, through nonprofit organizations, through governments. We've had several go on to be like legislative aides, but definitely assistance with lawyers. You'll learn how to read cases. You'll learn how to interpret laws. You'll learn how, if laws are applicable in certain situations. You're in these law school classes learning all of this. However, you still won't be able to give things like legal advice, or you won't be a lawyer, but definitely you can be of assistance to lawyers. I think it's a great degree for students who are wanting that interest in environmental law, who are wanting a better understanding of law, but don't want to necessarily be practicing attorneys, who don't necessarily want to, appear in court and things like that, but who really are interested in working with lawyers or working with governments, nonprofits. Thanks for asking that. I love all the questions coming in. Feel free to ask more. So I've had students ask, and this kind of goes to one of the questions that was asked to you, if you can take classes outside of the environmental law program. So for our online students, we have also an animal law online program, and we do allow students to occasionally take some up to 8 credits outside of the environmental law program that would apply towards your degree. So some courses like industrial animal egg culture, and international animal law, some of those might be relevant or might be of interest to environmental law students as well. So we do allow you to take courses outside of the environmental law program, but we limit the number of credits that are applicable towards your degree. If you ever choose to do in person, that's definitely an option as well. And you can always, take up to those 8 credits of outside of the environmental law program too. So we have had some students who take maybe a class on contracts or mediation or something like that in the on-campus program as well, just to get that experience. And that's possible, but again, the main focus is going to be on environmental law. This isn't a general law degree or a general legal studies degree, so the main focus will still be on environmental law. And another question came in the Q&A is, can an MSL be a stepping stone to law school? That is a great question, and actually something that I was going to talk about as well. So thank you for asking that. And the answer is yes and no. So the MSL degree it's 26 credits, so it can be done in 18 months or as little as 3 semesters or possibly slightly longer. It can give you an idea of what a law school class is like, what law school students do. The downside of it is that you cannot transfer any of the credits that you would take in an MSL program to a JD program. So all of our MSL students are graded on a credit, no credit, or honors if you would have received a B+ or higher basis. So that's also something to keep in mind when you're thinking about transcripts and stuff. You're going to be graded on that credit, no credit basis. But because of ABA regulations, none of those credits that you take as an MSL student can actually be transferred to the JD program, even though you're in the same classes and taking the same exams and everything. You are graded separately from the JD students, and those credits aren't transferable. But with that being said, we've had some students who have completed the MSL degree and have gone on to pursue a JD. I'm definitely happy to meet and talk with anybody about the differences between the JD and the MSL program and what career prospects are available in each and which one might be a better fit for you. Because of the fact that none of those credits are transferable, I hate for students to take, the full 26 credits in the MSL and you come out with a master's degree, which is wonderful, but then they decide, actually, I really want to go to law school. And those 26 credits then are non-transferable and you would have paid for them still. But again, I'm happy to talk with any students as well. So you're always welcome to schedule an appointment with me or anything. And I'm happy to talk about both programs and which one might be a better fit for you. That's a really great question too. So let's see, I'm just going through my list of FAQs. So another question that comes up a lot is what services are available to our online students. And I talked on this a little bit earlier in the presentation, but our online students get access to all of the services that our in-person students get access to as well, which means career services is a huge resource for both our online and in-person students. We have people who are very knowledgeable about both the MSL and the LLM degrees. They can help you with mock interviews. They can help you with resumes and cover letters. There's a job database that you get access to, an alumni database that you get access to, and all of those resources are available for you as well. Janice and myself also work with students to help if they're looking for certain jobs in certain fields, to help connect you with alums, things like that. Our library, the Boley Law Library, is also a huge resource to our students. As I mentioned, one of the courses is taught by the head librarian legal research course, but they're available. They have an online chat feature. They're available via email. So if you're working on a project for a class during normal library hours, those resources are available to you. You can chat with them, ask them, how to start a research question, how to get help with thesis, things like that. We also have a writing center on campus, and so that's another resource that is available to our online students as well. You can get help on thesis, on research papers, on any kind of writing questions, papers for class and things like that, citations. They're always available, and they work with our MSL and LLM students a lot as well. And we always host sessions every semester too with our career services and other offices on campus. So that can be great sessions to attend for our students where they can get knowledge about what resources are available. And then I also recommend our academic resources. So we have a director of academic resources who can be a really great resource for helping you with studying advice, helping you with outlining advice, being in a law school classroom, being back in a classroom after maybe you've been out for a while. They're a huge help in helping to adjust to being back in a study type of format, especially with all the challenges that come with an online program as well. You're balancing a lot being an online student, life, work, family obligations, and school obligations on top of that. So they can be a really great a resource that's available for you as well. So it looks like another question came in. So what are some examples of how an MSL in environmental law would be applicable to careers geared towards species protection and conservation, wildlife management, or habitat restoration efforts? Awesome question. So it can be a really great resource. So actually we have several students and recent graduates who have used this degree and are now working in national parks or forests, helping with land management in those areas, because especially in the national areas, all of that is regulated by federal laws. So they really use this as a way to help understand better the laws and regulations that they're helping to implement or helping to restore. Also in nonprofits, that can be another, any wildlife nonprofit, wildlife management nonprofit. This can be a way to help work with Endangered Species Act, work with other regulations that have to deal with wildlife management. I know Delia dropped the link for the alumni and careers that they have been in. So I would definitely encourage you to kind of check out that link to see where some of our MSL graduates, because a lot of them have gone into habitat restoration, wildlife management, or work with the National Parks or Forest Service as well. So I hope that answered your question. Was there any other questions that came in? I'm not seeing any. And it looks like the Q&A is pretty quiet. So, well, I want to thank you all again for coming today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Our emails are here. Reach out to us via phone. We're always available. Like I said, I'm always happy to chat with anybody about any of our programs. Or if you're considering, what's the best path for me, I'm happy to talk about that too and how it might be beneficial to you. Our deadline for the spring semester, just another reminder, is November 15th. So if you think the program might be right for you, definitely encourage you to apply as soon as possible. But again, we have first starts in the summer and fall as well for both programs. So definitely welcome to apply for a later semester as well. So thank you all for coming today, and I hope you all have a good day. We'll see ya.